I am in my brand new 2020 Ford Super Snake. Just picked this up last night, and this will be the first day I really get to drive her. Now, I ordered this truck back in February of this year, and due to COVID, it kind of delayed the process, but she finally came in this October, and I really haven't driven her more than, I don't know, about 25 miles. She came in with 6 miles on her. Got her home last night, and the Shelby Super Snake, the Shelby manufacturer has really explicit instructions on how you break this truck in. So it's saying 1,500 miles before I can go over that 4,000 RPM. And yikes, that's a little longer than I'd like to have to wait to really open this thing up. And as you can see, it's 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive capability, and this is the 2-door version, and it's the lowered version of the Shelby trucks. So if you're kind of familiar with the Shelby trucks, you kind of be thinking, well, that's probably that 4-door Shelby truck, you know. And if you can kind of see, I'm not that high up in the air right now, but most of them in this northeast area are typically the lifted ones, and I just didn't want that. And thankfully Shelby announced that this would be the first year of the 2-door version, and it's the lowered version, and you'll get pictures of that and video of that here. We'll walk around, so I'll kind of give you a little more info on this as I drive her today and get a little better feel for how she rides. And so far she's a nice ride. My concern has always been choppy, but kind of update you as time progresses, and share with you my excitement of my new pride and joy. Out here in the open highway and get a little taste of how she handles, and definitely a rigid 2-door short box truck. So when you drive this on a long road trip, I don't think it'd be a very good idea. She's pretty choppy, pretty bumpy, and it's all because she's got a race suspension underneath of her. So you want to go back roading, or you could even take her to the track. You know, she's definitely gonna hug the road. But as far as open road driving, this wouldn't be my first choice of my vehicle of leisure. Don't know the miles per gallon yet, because she's just too fresh and nice and quiet. As you can tell, they did the exhaust right, even though some would want that side exhaust out of this thing. Give a lot more rumble, and yeah, you know, I'd like that too, but the downside is this is a 2-door cab truck, and that exhaust is pretty much just about underneath that passenger seat over there. And I just think that over time, if you had a louder exhaust, I just think that drone and that noise would kind of wear you out. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'll keep you updated on how she's doing. And once again, I really can't get into her because you got to go 1,500 miles. So I've got like 1,491 miles to go, or 1,411 miles to go, actually. So maybe a while before I actually feel how this thing really lights up, but rather do it right than wrong. On a good piece of road now, and you know, when you're on the smoother road, it's nice. Truck definitely rides nice, and that makes a huge difference. But if you get into the rough roads, I mean, for most cars, it's same scenario. You're gonna get beat up, but this here is definitely more choppy just because of it's such a taut suspension. But you know, breaking in a truck or car, it's got its upside and downside. Upside is you're always obeying the speed limit, right? Downside is you're the slowest one on the road for the most part. I mean, it's just crazy in how this is a 65 mile an hour zone through this area right here. And then on the other side of those cones, that's a 55 mile an hour speed limit. And you can just see that, you know, even though I'm the 65 mile an hour guy, 10 miles an hour over from that lane, that'll make no difference. And as everybody knows, you get pulled over by a police officer and you get caught for speeding and you're maybe 10 over or whatever, and you're just like, man, it just doesn't seem fair, does it, being that everybody drives over the speed limit. And I've preached for years that the speed limit laws should be changed, shouldn't be points against your license unless it's radical speeds. If it's you're just speeding in a highway and you're kind of staying with the flow of the traffic, then it shouldn't be a points violation. It just should be a fine. You slap on the wrist, like, hey man, got a $300 fine for that, or whatever, $500 fine. I mean, you'd be far better off paying that than having to deal with your insurance going up, which that gets radical once you get labeled for speeding. So it's just something that I wish these legislators would override these insurance companies and let this happen, because insurance companies, they don't want it to happen because they have the right then to basically raise your insurance because you got points on your license and you're a threat to the roads because you're speeding. But everybody speeds. All right, not everybody speeds, but I would say majority speed. As I drive down Route 66 outside of Washington, D.C., the Virginia side, I just kind of had a brick hit me in the head thinking, wow, I used to live out this way back in the 80s, and I just was thinking, wow, this is kind of similar to my 1981 Chevy four-wheel drive Silverado. It was a two-door cab with the step side bed. I had an 8-inch lift on it with 40 Dixie Pick Fun Country tires on it, and in that truck, you know, rode like a big old brick because of me lifting her, and had a little taut suspension on her and big tires. And I got to thinking, wow, hey, this brings back memories. I mean, this doesn't sit way up the road, up in the air, I should say, and I think this rides, you know, more comfortable than that one did. But at the same time, it's like, wow, that's hard to believe that was close to 40 years ago, 37 years ago. I used to run up and down this road in that truck.